Hello and welcome to the Discover History YouTube channel. And today we're going to give you the answer for our Monday mystery. We've actually got two people that got it exactly right, but we do have probably about three or four people that actually got it almost right. And once again, we've got some random answers as well. And I say random, what is really important about anything in history, especially when it comes to archaeology, is that you look at an object, and what we always say is try and look at it and compare it with something used today. That's the first port of call, really. Is there something that we use? If not, you can then sort of go backwards and start eliminating things, really. So well done for everyone taking part. Interesting fact, the Monday Mystery posts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also our Monday Mysteries during lockdown number 3. These videos and the post seems to be the most popular out of all the things we do, followed slowly in second place probably by the hashtag Worcester Wednesday that we do every Wednesday. So look out for that tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe because therefore you won't miss any videos, and make sure you like us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and do share away. That's also quite important as well. We like to be to get our message as far and wide as possible because it's so important, especially at this time of the year, and in particular during COVID-19, that we support heritage, because sadly there's a lot of museums that are suffering out there, a lot of voluntary run museums, a lot of heritage centres and so on that are really going to struggle with reopening afterwards. So support our heritage. Anyway, back to our video tonight or this afternoon. Remember, we're going to reveal the answer to our Monday mystery. So just in case you missed it from Monday, that is our Monday mystery. So it's quite a thick piece of copper. So someone's taken a piece of copper, hammered it into a little dome. There's a little indentation there. If you look at it, there's a slight little sort of bowl into it. And it's obviously been cut into a very specific way. As I mentioned, is this the earliest known evidence for Pac-Man starting up prior to the 1980s? But the other interesting thing is it does have this little loop at the top for hanging up when it's not being used. So we had quite a few people, as I mentioned, comment on this, trying to decipher what it was. Quite a few people thought it was actually a shield, very much like a buckler used in the medieval and Tudor period, and that was basically a shield that fitted on the fist only and was the last of all the big shields. If you think about shields coming along in history, especially when you get to the Normans in the medieval period, by the 15th century, with medieval armour taking over, shields went out of use, really. So some people did carry a small shield, very much like this, that was used as a parrying shield, used to push swords and other weapons out of the way before you strike. But unfortunately, it's not a shield. It's not a shield at all. It's definitely not a UFO. So what actually is it? Well, we have two people that got the right answer. One was Roger Leake. So well done, Roger Leake, for one, taking part and also getting the answer exactly correct. And the other one is Christopher Hall. You have also got the answer correct. So you are the two that got it spot on. And what it actually is a barber's bowl, and that's what it's often referred to as. It's a barber's bowl. These were made out of all sorts of metals, brass, bronze. They were also made out of copper, like this one. And by the 1700s, late 1600s into the 1700s, a lot of these were actually made out of ceramic as well, so they were actually made out of clay. I've seen some absolutely fantastic ones, original ones, made out of Delft ware, which would have come from the Low Countries, really. And obviously that style of bowl is white in colour because that's Delft ware, and they've actually painted images on it, and the images often show combs. They often show the straight, long bladed, what we would now refer to as the cutthroat razor, and things like that on it. So it's obviously relating to barbering, or in particular the job of the barber. And what it actually is something that fitted underneath the chin whilst a person was having a shave. So this has a lot to do, it's got a lot of links with the previous video that I actually did talking about razors and shaving in the past. And the way it would work is it would literally fit under the chin like so. So very much like the things that you'd expect to find as a way of reflecting the rays onto the face to give you a suntan, really. So it fits directly under the chin. And the main reason for that is you have to remember very few, if any, in the medieval and Tudor period would have shaved themselves. It was extremely rare to be shaving yourself, and most people would make an effort of going into town on a specific day, maybe every couple of days, maybe once a week even, to get a shave. And the thing is, when you're going out, as people always did, as they often do today, you often go out with your better clothes on. You've got almost lockdown clothes, and I'm sure many of you know what lockdown clothes are, where you're not really too bothered because you're not leaving the house, but then you put something better on to go out, really. Well, if you're wearing your finery, let's say in the Tudor period, so you've got a fine collar and a fine doublet, for example, because only really the middle and upper classes would have been the ones shaving on a regular basis, then you'd go into town, and what you don't want to have happen is getting all sorts of mess from the shaving process down your clothes. Definitely not on your lace collars, or maybe even on your pure white linen collars, because in a way it might actually stain your clothes as well. Imagine a slight nick caused by a razor and you bleed on your finest white linen collar. What an horrific thing that would look like. What an horrific thing. It would take ages to wash something like that. So the idea is it protects the clothes. So it fits underneath your chin. Your chin pretty much sits against it or even into it. And therefore they can put the oils, or in particular the soaps, onto the face, and then use the blade of the razor to give the person a shave. And that's exactly what it was used for. Now, saying that, I had a few people asking me, is it medical? In a way, could be maybe said to be medical, because what you have to remember is by the 15th century and definitely into the 16th and 17th century, the barber was actually a person that did lots and lots of things. And if you look through our videos in the playlist on medicine or medical history, you will see what I mean, because you had the barber surgeon, and because they were not always cutting people's legs off or setting bones, they were actually employed a lot of the time to pull teeth, cut hair and shave a person. And that's in a way where you get the word barber from. It was a multi-talented or multi-skilled role, and these things would have been used by that barber surgeon. So if he's not cutting someone's leg off, it's quite common to see these hanging up in his shop. And I would challenge you, because it's worth having a look at, if you look up barber's bowls or something like that, or barber shops in the 17th century or medieval, you often see pictures with these hanging up behind the individual. In a way, some people say this was also a badge of office in a way, and it was also said that if you think of a barber surgeon having a red and white pole outside, red being the bloodletting, white being the bandages or miscellaneous jobs, sometimes these type of things were placed on the top of the red and white pole. And that's in a way why you have shops today with a red and white pole where you get your hair cut, and often with a gold topper. And in a way that is the barber's bowl, or sometimes the bloodletting bowl as well. Now, some people did actually say this is a bloodletting bowl. Now, it's an interesting one because people have debated that for a long time. Some people say it would make a useful bloodletting bowl because it would work if you were bloodletting from the arm, the leg, or anywhere else, to be fair. And some historians actually commented stating that maybe you will allow it to fill with blood to that amount. So that would be a very scientific way of getting the exact amount of blood out of someone. The problem is all the ones, especially from later in history, 16, 17 and 1800s, show only barbering items on there. As I mentioned, things like the comb, the cutthroat, they never ever seem to show a fleam, which was used for cutting the skin to bloodlet. You never see, for example, tiny little blades or leeches on it. All you ever see are things like combs and razors. So we are pretty much 99.9% sure now that these were not for bloodletting, but just purely for the barber to do his job without damaging your clothes underneath, to stop making a mess, basically. Now, history is all about debate, so we'd be quite interested if anyone would like to comment and say, well, actually, no, I actually think it was for bloodletting as well. Please show your sources, for example, because at the moment we are 99.9% sure that these were purely for the barber to use for, like I said, keeping the clothes clean, but we're never 100%. That's the thing with history. We can debate about it and you can't always be 100% sure. So let us know by commenting on here. Let us know by even commenting on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. But what you have to remember is we have 2 people that got it spot on, and that was the fact that it is used by the barber for shaving people. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week's Monday Mystery. Look out for one next week. And all I need to say is stay in, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.